Grand Rising, Brave Awakened Ones. It is Monday morning, 4:30 a.m. here on the East Coast. What's up? We got this TV here. I was jolted out of my sleep at 4 a.m. and told to, before I start getting ready for work, I have to make this video. So here I am making this video. This is an NRV, okay? What NRV is it? I don't know. I think it's 97. Okay, that's a new remote view video or um new revelation video. This is was more than a remote view because I was actually involved in this situation, okay? Disclaimer, this is just the babblings of a crazy lady having dreams, okay? There you go. So, I was in this I started off, yeah, 'cause it's a two-parter, okay? First part was a concert, okay? But the concert had already happened, and the people putting on the concert was U2. That was one of my favorite bands. It's an Irish band, right? With Bono in it, right, leading up. Um, and it's like I was watching a commercial or an interview, not a commercial, it was an interview. I was watching an interview with the U2 drummer, and he was talking, but it was not what he looks like now, but what he looked like back when I was a kid. And they were my one of my favorite groups. I remember buying tickets to go see U2, and was it the mall? It was by Macy's in Queens. They had a Ticketron there, and was it U2 and Pearl Jam, something like that. I was a little grunge girl. And I was like so upset because the concert got canceled. Okay. And I never understood why. I was so upset. I worked so many extra shifts at Macy's um to get those concert tickets, and it was like, God, it cost me over $100. It's a lot for a kid, for a teenager. And my friend was gonna go and everything like that, and it was canceled. And I was told, gee, why didn't I ever get to go to U2? And then I was told that you were never meant to. Oh, yeah. Here's who told me. This was weird. I was in this weird building, and I went into this bathroom stall, and then there was this like maid's uniform hanging there. And then I was like, oh, excuse me, who does this belong to? And then this Irish lady with red hair and green eyes came, and she was smiling. She's like, oh, that's mine. I said, okay, here you go. And she said to me, you don't recognize me, do you? And she said my name. And I was like, no, but I had a feeling. And she says, why is it you talk about all your other parts, your other, how you're made up, and you never mention me? I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, your mother has told you. I was like, are you my great grandmother? And she said, yes. And she's Irish. My great grandmother's Irish, FYI. So I was like, oh, okay. It's like, you never mentioned me. And she said, you're never supposed to go see those Irish boys in concert because you don't belong there. That type of energy, it's terrible. It's terrible. I said, why? And then she's the one who showed me, who took me to the concert. And then I was standing there, and it was like a fire that had broken out, but it really wasn't a fire. It was set up that way, and it was 25 people, 25. That's the number I was shown that died. And she said, "Oh, but it was a lot more." She goes like that. But it was in modern times, and they were taking people out of windows, taking them down, And I was like, oh my God, what happened? She goes, you know what happened? I said, another one of those sacrifices, huh? And she said, yes. I was like, oh, wow. And then we were back in the bathroom again. And then she said, okay, bye, I love you. I said, okay, I love you too. And then she went away. Oh, now I'm thinking, oh my God, I met her, you know. But yeah, now I'm all verklempt. So I'll explain more while we were standing there. We were standing there, and I was shown an in after the fire, whatever, had broken out in the building where U2 had their concert. They were taking out these people. And I was like, oh, they're so young. You know, that's what hit me. They're young. I thought they'd be Gen Xers, you know? And then I was told that that's why she told me, my great grandmother, that that's why these old time bands from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, that they're trying to get late boomers. You know, boomers are born in the 60s, um, and in the 50s, and Gen Xers that are born in the 60s and 70s. Because Gen X goes up to from 19, I was shown 1965 to 1980. That's Gen X. And the late boomers, I was shown that that's why these bands are having concerts now, because they want to get rid of us, as many of us as possible, because we're the ones who are causing the most trouble, quote unquote, with this ascension, this awakening and ascension process. We're the ones causing the most problems. So they want to get rid of as many of us as possible. And also just to reap some souls too on top of that. Um so U2's part of that. And then later on I was I saw an interview with Bono and the drummer, and they were talking about, oh, we're so sorry this happened, and you know, they're trying to be altruistic, and we'll refund and blah blah blah, and refund tickets and crap like that. Actually, twice I tried to go see U2. I'll never forget that, twice. Um so yeah, that happened. And then another tragedy happened in New York where a bridge was blown up. It was actually, yeah, it was in the building in New York where I bumped into my great grandmother. That's right. Because I was going through this building in New York, and yeah, I had bumped into my great grandmother, blah, 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 and she took me to the U2 concert. Okay. And then I went back to the building in New York, and I went into this room, and there was this suitcase, not a suitcase, it was a briefcase. And then I opened up the briefcase and had a roll of film in it. And then I was about to open up the film, and then there was this baby sitting there in a carry case, in a baby seat. The most beautiful baby I've ever seen. It was a Caucasian baby. It was the most beautiful baby. And the baby was in a onesie, a little onesie with little characters on it. It was a little baby girl. And then this person picked up the baby. Excuse me, didn't have my morning tea yet. Picked up the baby and handed me the baby. And then I was still holding the baby, and the baby was talking to me telepathically. And I was like, gee, and I picked up the roll of film, and the baby telepathically talking to me was like, do you not recognize the film? I was about to open, she said, no, don't ruin the film so they could develop it later. I was like, oh yeah, this suitcase belongs to so and so. Let's call them JL. And which is, I was like, oh yeah, my ex-husband, my son's father. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember, this belongs to his camera. What is it doing here? I thought he took it on vacation. And then I was like, oh my God, was he part of the tragedy? It's like he didn't make it. I said, was my son with him? And the baby said, no, your son is fine. In fact, your sister helped save him. I was like, oh, thank God. And then I turn around and the baby and I are outside the building in the street. And then my sister's coming towards me, but not with my son though. And then she said the baby nodded. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. As the baby was handed to me, how I found out it was a baby girl, the little onesie with the little characters on. I couldn't tell if they were clowns or whatever or dragon. I don't know. They were just or little balloons, something like that. There were colorful little patterns on her onesie. The onesie all of a sudden turned into this beautiful little pink dress, had little embroideries on it. Beautiful little pink dress, little pink cotton dress. And so I was holding the baby like this. The baby couldn't be more than a few months old. And the baby touched my face with her little baby hands. And she was all pink and everything. And then she reached out her little hand and then she called my sister over. So my younger sister lives in New York. And she said, you need to be friends again. I said, okay. I said, why is it important for us to be friends? And she said, because that's why. It's like, because I'm trying to put it into words because it was telepathic. The reason why we stopped being friends, not just sisters, but friends, we used to be very, very close until the whole Rona thing hit. And we're on opposite sides of the spectrum, let's put it that way. She said, you need to be friends because you were broken apart because your energy together is going to save many lives. That's what she said. She, she showed me that us together, and we used to do rituals together. She had her little witchy circle, her little Wiccan circle, and we used to do many rituals together. Um, yeah, and said that's why you were broken apart. You were purposefully broken apart. You two together will save the family. So you need to be friends again. And so the baby put our hands together. And like, it's like, as she glowed into this pink light that like surrounded us. Um, and it's very important for my sister and my son to become friends again too, because, my sister just became estranged from everyone with the whole COVID thing. Um, so said it's important for us to come back together. So avoid U2 concerts. Avoid all those concerts. They're up to no good. Okay? They're up to no good. Um so yeah, with my ex-husband and his whole family, I was shown that they're gone. Uh when all this is going to happen, I don't know. Okay? Like I said, I've tried to put dates on my NRVs and with timelines going back and forth and everything, it's never. I can't say never. It happens when it happens. Let's put it that way, okay? But yeah, we'll be seeing a lot of these tragedies, a lot of these tragedies, these FAFAs coming up, especially in 2023. I was told, and they're just, it's all part of the whole soul reaping, rapturing, the whole tribulation thing, okay? And remember, guys, it's all in divine order. People keep trying to separate everything. It is what it is. It may look evil, but without the dark, you can't see the light, okay? And everything, oh, it's not of God. Everything is of God, or God wouldn't be God. I don't understand when people say that. It makes no sense. Listen to yourself. So are you saying God is not in control of everything? Oh, Satan got some type of control? No. Everything is of God. The dark is created for a reason. God allowed it to happen for a reason. As horrible as it looks, who are we to question it? I guess that's what it takes to awaken and ascend a soul back to source. This video I made a couple of years ago, back in 2019, December of 2019, as I recall. Read the Kabbalion. That'll help you understand things better, help you understand the ways of the universe better. The Kabbalion's very good. Okay, Hermetics. Try to understand Hermetics. I made several videos on Hermetics. I taught on Hermetics. So go back to my 2019 videos. Some of them are gone. Like I said, many of my videos went missing. Some of them popped back up for no whatever reason. You know, YouTube playing its games. You have to understand the balance of things, you know, the pendulum swings, the principle of hermetics, the principles of hermetics. Read that, okay? Because a lot of people get caught up in not understanding it's all about balance. You know, it's different sides of the same coin, and God is that coin, okay? All right, guys, peace out of here. I'm going to try to get a workout in before going to work. Much love. We got this. Yeah.